In a world of excess, have you ever stopped to think that the secret to happiness might lie in simplicity? Less is more is not just a saying, it's a way of life. When we reduce what surrounds us, we make room for what truly matters. Today, let's explore how simplifying can transform your life and bring you the peace you seek. And you? Have you ever felt overwhelmed by excess? Share your thoughts, and let's talk about it. Since ancient times, simplicity has been exalted as a path to a fulfilling and free life. Greek philosophers, for instance, were masters at highlighting how excess often imprisons us, while a life with less brings freedom and clarity. Imagine a life without the weight of exaggerated expectations or the incessant need to accumulate. For them, true wealth was found in cultivating what is essential, something many modern minimalists also advocate. If we observe closely, those who own less live lighter, and perhaps this is the key to finding lasting happiness. The Greek philosopher Socrates, for example, questioned the value of material possessions, asserting that we need less than we think to be happy. He walked barefoot and, despite living modestly, exhibited unshakable joy. Imagine how many worries disappear when you don't have to maintain an infinite collection of things. This teaching translates today into practical actions, like discarding what doesn't serve us and keeping only what truly matters. This choice to simplify can be applied by anyone seeking inner peace. This path of less is also an antidote to the emptiness that rampant consumerism can bring. It's as if each possession is a promise of happiness that never materializes. The point is, for philosophers, an excess of possessions becomes an excess of worries. When we keep life simple, we create space for what really matters, like relationships and self-awareness. Imagine a life where every object has a clear purpose. Instead of gathering dust, they serve our well-being. Moreover, simplicity helps us see clearly who we are. Excess distracts us, making us lose sight of what truly matters. Aristotle believed that virtue resides in balance and that excess, in any form, is a deviation from the ideal path. This philosophy is an invitation for those who want to understand what is truly essential. Letting go of excess may be the first step in a journey of self-discovery. Simplicity ultimately leads us to a more connected and meaningful existence. In practice, simplicity can transform how we face modern life. Imagine a lighter schedule with room for what truly matters, without the burden of unnecessary obligations and commitments. This way of living allows you to appreciate simple moments, like a good conversation or the silence of a peaceful afternoon. After all, a simple life makes room for rich and genuine experiences, bringing us closer to something much deeper, something our next mentor, Epicurus, greatly valued. Epicurus, the philosopher who valued pleasure, believed that true satisfaction lay in simple things, like bread, water, and good company. For him, happiness wasn't synonymous with luxury, but with contentment in what is basic. Imagine savoring a piece of warm bread with the same satisfaction that many seek in extravagant banquets. He believed that our minds determine the value of things, and by appreciating the essential, we gain a lighter and more peaceful life, free from the desire for the unnecessary. Following Epicurus's steps is easier than it seems. Instead of chasing the latest technology or the most expensive meal, he encouraged valuing what we already have. You can practice this principle by dedicating time to a coffee with friends without hurry, simply enjoying their company. For Epicurus, this sharing was what gave life meaning, not great achievements or material conquests. This approach acts as a truce in the relentless cycle of always seeking more, allowing peace to blossom in the small things. This simple path is a way to find joy without relying on acquisitions. Epicurus knew that true pleasure comes from a heart satisfied with the essentials, without the weight of infinite desires. This is liberating because it frees us from the pressure to consume and accumulate. Instead of striving to have everything, we can find pleasure in small and authentic experiences. This idea resonates with minimalism, which values experiences over possessions. When the basics satisfy us, what remains is serenity. Epicurus also teaches us the value of gratitude. He was thankful for the water he drank, the bread he ate, and the conversations he shared. This recognition of the small things is a key to happiness, as it transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. Imagine pausing to appreciate the details of your day without haste or anxiety about what's to come. Practicing this gratitude is a simple exercise that can change our perspective on life, making it richer and more fulfilling. And this philosophy of Epicurus is still an invitation to find pleasure in a fast-paced world. When we understand that happiness lies in simplicity, we free ourselves from comparisons and the need to have what others have. This freedom opens us up to experiences of genuine peace and joy. Now, if you're enjoying this philosophical journey, how about subscribing to our channel? Epicurus showed us that sharing thoughts also enriches life, and we have many more reflections to share with you. Stoic philosophy teaches that true happiness comes from within and not from material possessions. For the Stoics, the secret lies in reducing our desires and focusing on what truly matters. They believe that the less we depend on external factors, the freer we become. Imagine going through a tough day without being overwhelmed by frustrations. This is the freedom that Stoics championed. Practicing detachment from possessions and desires places us in a state of peace, where joy doesn't depend on what we have, but on who we are. For the Stoics, it's essential to develop the ability to distinguish what is within our control from what is not. They remind us that nothing is more frustrating than trying to change what cannot be controlled. So, instead of wasting energy on situations we cannot alter, why not focus on our response to them? This thought can be applied to daily life, from traffic to relationships. It's a way to live in peace without carrying the weight of unrealistic expectations. Another Stoic principle is practicing gratitude even in adversity. They believe that every experience, good or bad, has something to teach us. Imagine seeing a challenging situation as an opportunity for growth rather than an obstacle. This perspective makes us resilient and prepares us for life's ups and downs. If we want to apply Stoicism today, we can start with a gratitude journal, noting daily what we've learned from each experience without judgment. Moreover, the Stoics remind us that lasting happiness comes from virtue, not immediate pleasure. Being a just, courageous, and honest person is, for them, the only way to achieve true satisfaction. When we pursue virtues instead of riches, our relationships and inner peace take on a new dimension. Try this in your life, whether at work or in friendships. You'll find that by acting virtuously, you gain a confidence and stability that nothing external can take away. Finally, the Stoics believed in simplicity as a way of life. They argued that the less we own, the more space we have to value what truly matters. This simplicity aligns with what other traditions have taught about living with little. Following this thread, we'll see in the next topic how Buddhist philosophy also values balance, promoting a life focused on the essential and serenity. The middle way taught by Buddha is a lesson in balance, a life between the extremes of excess and deprivation. He believed that happiness isn't found in indulging every desire, but also not in rigid renunciation. Imagine a life where you are not a slave to your desires, but neither do you deprive yourself harshly. This balance prevents us from becoming captives of our impulses and gives us the freedom to enjoy each moment with ease, without guilt or obsession. Buddha taught that unbridled desire leads to suffering, but extreme deprivation doesn't bring peace either. He himself experienced both ways of living and concluded that true contentment lies in accepting what life offers without attachment. This practice can be applied to our daily lives, where we seek what is necessary without falling into the urge for the superfluous. If we apply the middle way, we can, for instance, allow ourselves an occasional pleasure without losing focus on what truly enriches us. This balance is also a form of self-compassion, something Buddha deeply valued. Practicing the middle way helps us be kind to ourselves, recognizing that perfectionism or the relentless pursuit of pleasure robs us of peace. Instead, when we follow the middle way, we allow ourselves to make mistakes, learn, and evolve naturally. It's a liberating approach for those seeking well-being without the weight of rigid expectations. The middle way also invites us to a simple and contemplative life. Buddha taught that by focusing on practices that promote serenity and clarity, we find peace even in a chaotic world. Meditation, moments of silence, and cultivating a balanced routine are ways to apply this philosophy today. Daily mindfulness practice is a concrete step for those wanting to find balance without losing the depth of life. This path of moderation is a bridge to inner peace, a way of living that rejects excess and emptiness while valuing the present. Just like Stoicism, Buddhist philosophy values self-mastery and serenity. In the next topic, we'll see how different spiritual traditions also promote simplicity as a route to mental clarity and peace, a principle that connects various cultures in the search for the essential. Spiritual traditions around the world, such as Buddhism, Christianity, and Zen Buddhism, have always advocated simplicity as a path to inner peace. These philosophies show us that by simplifying, we create space for what truly matters: our mind and spirit. Imagine a life where every action and object has a clear purpose, without the burden of the unnecessary. This is the power of simplicity, a way to free the mind from worries, making it lighter and ready to focus on what truly brings meaning. For Buddhism, simplicity is a means to achieve clarity. The practice of meditation, for instance, teaches us to let go of repetitive thoughts and distractions. In Christianity, we find the value of humility and detachment from material possessions as ways to purify the spirit. These traditions demonstrate that true wealth is the peace that comes from a light soul, not from accumulated possessions. In practice, this can be as simple as stepping away from social media for a while to dedicate time to moments of silence and reflection. Zen Buddhism takes this idea even further, proposing the concept of a beginner's mind, an open mind free of judgments. They believe that by emptying the excess of thoughts and expectations, we can see life with more authenticity. Practicing Zen isn't just about meditating, but living every moment with full attention. Imagine, for example, savoring a cup of tea without haste, focusing solely on the aroma, temperature, and flavor. It's a small ritual that teaches us to value the present without distractions. These traditions remind us that excess, whether of objects or thoughts, only distances us from what is essential. Decluttering life, whether by letting go of physical items or mental worries, is a practice shared by all these cultures. Each, in its own way, encourages us to create space for peace, promoting a state of mind where priorities are clear and serenity can settle. Simplifying in this context is an act of devotion to our mental health. Following these spiritual principles can transform our modern lives. In the next topic, we'll explore how contemporary minimalism incorporates these ancient traditions, presenting a way of living where excess is set aside in favor of mental tranquility and focus on what truly matters. Let's discover how modern figures have revived these teachings to promote a lifestyle centered on the essential and peace. Modern minimalism, championed by figures like Joshua Becker, invites us to a life with fewer excesses and more meaning. He believes that by removing what isn't essential, we gain clarity and tranquility, as if every unnecessary object or commitment were a weight lifted. Imagine opening your closet and seeing only what you actually use and love. No complicated choices and no wasted time. This simplicity creates a calmer mental environment where the focus shifts to what truly matters, such as relationships, health, and genuine experiences. Becker and other modern minimalists argue that our society is saturated with distractions, from impulsive shopping to an overload of information. This surplus not only consumes our time, but also our peace. To apply minimalism, one practice is to review what we own and reflect on what truly adds value to our lives. It can be liberating to donate clothes we don't wear or simplify our digital routines by limiting notifications and time on social media. This movement also promotes the idea of quality over quantity. Minimalists advocate that it's better to invest in experiences and durable items we genuinely love rather than accumulate superfluous things. This is evident in areas like home decor, where the goal is to keep only what's necessary to create a comfortable and welcoming space. A less cluttered environment reduces visual stress and fosters a sense of lightness, a direct benefit of the minimalist lifestyle. Beyond being a consumption philosophy, minimalism also encourages us to rethink our schedules and relationships. Becker believes we should prioritize activities and people that enrich our lives instead of trying to please everyone or fill every minute of the day. Practicing less is more isn't just about objects. It's a conscious choice about how we spend our time and energy. Thus, minimalism becomes a tool to cultivate a more meaningful life aligned with our values. This minimalist lifestyle also touches on emotional aspects. Practicing minimalism helps us focus on what truly nurtures us and let go of what brings noise or anxiety. In the next topic, we'll explore the difference between fear of missing out, FOMO, and joy of missing out, JOMO, where we'll see how choosing to let go of certain things can be liberating and connect us to authentic and lasting joy. In a world full of stimuli, the fear of missing out, known as FOMO, has become a constant. The feeling that there's always something more interesting happening drives us to want to be everywhere at once. This fear creates anxiety and dissatisfaction, as if what we have now is never enough. However, there's a powerful alternative called JOMO, the joy of missing out, which teaches us to find happiness in letting go of certain things. Imagine the peace of choosing what truly matters without feeling like you're missing out. The idea of JOMO invites us to prioritize what brings us serenity and accept that it's impossible to be everywhere. Instead of overwhelming ourselves, we can learn to say no to commitments and events that don't add value to our lives. This creates space for activities that truly matter, like spending time with family or dedicating ourselves to personal hobbies. A practical example is choosing a quiet evening at home with a good book rather than going out just to avoid feeling left out of the latest trends. This movement also helps us redefine what success and happiness mean. FOMO makes us think success is about living to the fullest, always being active and part of everything. JOMO, on the other hand, allows us to see that true happiness lies in making conscious choices aligned with our values, not with others' expectations. It's an exercise in self-awareness, as the more we understand what truly fulfills us, the easier it becomes to let go of what doesn't add value. Embracing JOMO is liberating because it fosters a genuine connection to our priorities. It's like hitting a reset button on the need for external validation and focusing on what truly nourishes us. When you can look back on your day and feel that you did what was right for you without the pressure to be everywhere, you experience a lightness that FOMO can't offer. Practicing JOMO can be as simple as limiting time on social media or learning to say no without guilt. This mindset shift is an invitation to a more focused and joyful life. When we set aside FOMO and embrace JOMO, we create space for genuine satisfaction and serenity. Just as minimalists teach, living with less and not missing what was left behind brings profound peace. This theme connects directly to the concept of simplicity we've explored throughout this discussion, where every well-made choice brings us closer to a more meaningful and tranquil life. Now that we've explored the magic of a simple life, the invitation remains to apply these teachings. How about starting by reducing excess, whether in objects or commitments, and seeing the impact on your peace? This is a journey of transformation that depends solely on your choices. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you won't miss more content about well-being and minimalism. And enjoy the next recommended video on your screen to continue this change.